By the way, Seth, I heard that somebody sent me a couple messages and they told me you were saying some good stuff about me commentating at shows, and I know me and you talked about it a little bit, so I want to thank you for that. Somebody said you mentioned me on your podcast, so thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I always appreciate that.
Well, we'll get into that topic right now too. We'll just transition into it. I'll take your show over for a second.
Okay, it's all you.
The commentating in bodybuilding needs to change.
Oh.
I don't know what happens on the other end of this, why people get elected to do such, or how this all works. With tuning into the Chicago Pro, I was just almost, I guess, speechless or astonished, because there's so many other people like you, Fouad, who, bro, you are the voice of bodybuilding right now. The other person I like is Nick Strength and Power, like an unbiased opinion, talks about everything, such a huge fan. Yeah. And I'm like, how the fuck do we not have like the people that are so enthusiastic and passionate about this and the intense passion for bodybuilding aren't the ones doing the commentating. I'm like, something needs to change because it was not good. Not good at all.
My opinion of it was, and the reason I don't think Nick would work is because I feel like it's like other sports bring ex-athletes that kind of know what they're looking at and know how to educate, right? So like if you look at basketball, they bring in like Shaq and they bring in Charles Barkley and they have them do the, all the pre-show analyzing and all that, right? I always thought the best combination was having a professional bodybuilder, either retired or active, doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Somebody who can articulate what's going on the stage. And a best combination would not be, hey, let's just have a guy and a girl just because for no fucking reason. I always thought having a commentator that was in the sport, that understands it fully, and having a judge would be incredible, because then you have, let's say, and it doesn't have to be, let's say any professional bodybuilder, you get them on there, they know what they're talking about, they know how to explain what's going on. And part of the thing is education. It's not about, let's just make it sound pretty. If I'm a fan, and most fans are not hardcore fans that understand everything. Most fans are like in between. They don't know what they're looking at. You need to have a bodybuilder there that's going to explain to you why they picked that guy, why they moved that guy there, the nice thing is, well, I was going to say the nice thing is having the judge sitting there would add credibility to what the pro is saying.
Credibility to the opinion of the pro. Yeah.
Or if the pro doesn't know something, like, listen, the New York Pro. Me and Paul were talking about the New York Pro, and I was torn between Justin and Ian.
Yeah.
And Paul, literally, we were on a drive to this gym that's like 20 minutes away. On this drive, Paul literally, because Paul's a pro judge now, Paul literally broke down every reason why Ian should have won. And when he broke it down, I'm like, that makes 100% sense. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? That's what bodybuilding needs. They need a guy who understands bodybuilding, who's in the show, who can talk to people about the feelings of being on stage and all that.
Absolutely.
But then they should also have an authority that can say, this is why the judge moved that guy there and that guy there, blah, blah, blah. That way it's all very, like, I use this analogy. I use this analogy, Seth. Like when I watch MMA and I listen to Joe Rogan, I've learned so much about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I've never stepped foot in a fucking jiu-jitsu. Like, I have no idea. But I know what all the moves are. I know when they're getting into them now. I know, I know what, like, top control is. Like, all these things I have no fucking idea about. That's the job of the guy sitting at the desk.
I agree with what you said fully 100% there. The reason that I bring up Nick Strength and Power is because of his credibility in the side. What's that?
And the non-biased nature, like you just said, I feel is a very, very apparent thing, because, like he says, he has no reason.
Very non-biased. And then on top of that, like, he's a huge fan of the sport. So, I don't know how to say this other than, like you said, Fouad, the regular people that are watching this that aren't competitive bodybuilders.
Yeah.
You know, whenever we're talking as athletes and the things we've done, do you know how many things we look past?
Yeah.
Because our minds are so advanced, or we're so far in front of the regular person, and they're not even getting up. Like you said, Joe Rogan does a great job of explaining things step by step and like step by step. And you feel like I know all about MMA now. I know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
But so I think that there needs to be somebody along with those two other people that kind of like,
I think
questions or make sure that the other people understand what's going on from a smaller, not like a less intense or advanced thought process.
Yeah.
That's what I was just going to say. You know what? If that role, whoever it was be, whether it be Nick or anybody else, that role would be the guy that's asking questions as a fan.
Yes.
That way the other two can you're still teaching. You know what I mean? Even if he's asking questions he knows the answers to, it would still.
Oh, absolutely. We look past it.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I think it would be great. I think the last thing on earth people need anymore is, listen, people keep bringing up the fact, this is really, really fucking annoying me. And I don't give a shit who likes what I'm about to say or not. Sean Ray brought up the fact that Justin Rodriguez, his shoulders looked suspect, and that he was insinuating that there was SEO used in his shoulders and it was all oil and his shoulders were fake. I think, look, first of all, on a commentating level, that's not your fucking job. Your job is not to say that guy looks like he has fake shoulders. That's not your job. Your job is to elevate the sport, teach about the sport, and not to humiliate people in the sport. That's number one. Number two, it's a fucking rumor. You don't know he put SEO in his shoulders.
And the problem is, once it's said,
it's it. And people have been messaging me going, "Oh, you could tell, bro. Look at his shoulders." You can't tell. What if he bangs all his fucking gear there? What if that's where he does all his testosterone? His fucking. That doesn't mean it's SEO. That could be just where he does all his shots. Yeah. What if he's just a fucking freak and he's got crazy round shoulders? Look at Antoine. Antoine's shoulders are fucking round as fuck. I know he doesn't use SEO. Yeah. So it's not the job of the fucking commentator to sit there and put shit in people's fucking head and make the sport look bad. And furthermore, make the athlete look bad. If anything, look, the whole reason I started this podcast is to take the fucking athletes and lift them up and lift the sport up and give people a fucking reason to watch bodybuilding.
Yeah.
It shouldn't all be undone by the guy sitting at the fucking desk commentating the show.
No, who has a reputation of being a fucking asshole and doing nothing but ripping down athletes like that. It's known that he's done it numerous times, and it's frustrating because our whole goal with everything that I do too, I don't give a fuck if you're a 300-pound fucking fat ass motherfucker. I expect you to do better. If you want to lose weight and do a better job, do that. And whenever you see it and things like that, it's kind of like, all right, listen, we know the credibility that Sean Ray holds is pretty high given the fact of what he's accomplished in his career.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're turning people like me, and I'm like, I don't want to listen to this fucking shit. Why am I going to listen to this? Look at the pictures. You're saying the same thing. Many other people are out there saying the same thing. We should not be critical because right now people are flocking to the fucking fitness industry.
Yeah.
People are flocking. The fitness industry is growing at an astronomical fucking rate right now.
Listen,
true.
Why is the sport not being pushed in the direction from these people in these positions to make it better, make bodybuilding more important, make bodybuilding popular again, push hard for it through the internet rather than just say, hey, can you make a post for us about your show this weekend?
Yeah.
Okay, if I make a post about the show this weekend, I make the post. I get fucking 1,000 people to join the live stream, and then they have some fucking person on there that's not doing anything good and just talking negatively about athletes. The guy that's possibly going to win the fucking show, you're talking about suspect shoulders, and it's like, man, that sounds good. And I know I get emotional on my podcast and I say off the wall shit sometimes, but it's like when you're in this position and as a commentator, it should be about the athletes, about the sport, about growing and educating people that are watching. What happens if out of the 5,000 people that download or are watching this live stream, fucking 1,500 of them, this is the first time they're watching bodybuilding.
Yeah.
First time they're ever being.
I have a funny kind of story to tell on that subject.
That's what you were hired to do. You were hired to capture these.
I'm going to grab some fluids because I've got a story on this actually. That something happened with me in this show because the live stream was shit.
Okay,
go. I'm going to grab some water, Willie, and then I'm going to explain.
Come back. Yeah. So it really, really fucking. The other thing that really bothered me too was I watched the guy that won the classic. I don't know if it was a pro classic or amateur, but the guy with the dreads with the pink hair.
Yeah.
This guy comes out and I'm looking at this phenomenal physique, like incredible. And he's peeled, like amazing.
Credit.
And all Sean Ray can talk about is his fucking hair. And I'm like, are you stupid? Are you fucking stupid? Like there are so many fucking channels and so many vloggers and so many fucking trolls online that are sitting there waiting to talk about Justin Rodriguez's shoulders and the pink hair and all that. You are the guy commentating. You're the guy teaching everybody. And you're sitting there. You're not saying anything about this phenomenal physique I'm seeing. All you're saying is, oh, his hair is pretty funny. Eh? He's got pink hair. And I'm like, you're an asshole. You're literally an asshole.
It's tough because it frustrates me because of what I think I went off on a little tangent myself on the episode on our podcast because I think I'm like, I don't quite understand that side of the business. I don't know. I think it's the promoter who chooses that or the live stream company that's hired to come in and do it. But I look at it and I'm like, I know that it could be better. Yeah. And that's what frustrates me because I watch people's YouTube channels. I follow along with people and I'm a huge fucking fan of bodybuilding. And I'm thinking, this is what we got. This is what our sport, the professional level, I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to no, I'm not opposed to it.
It'd be great. We'd have a great time. And
I think if people were getting fucking paid to do this, and this is what we're getting, and this is what we have, I think the fans, bro, it's professional bodybuilding for Christ's sakes. Right now, the industry is on the internet. Nobody's going to the fucking shows.
Yeah.
Nobody's guest posing at shows, at amateur level shows. Nobody's going anywhere. So this means that you have an opportunity to capitalize on capturing these people for our sport.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, we didn't get that many people on the live stream. All right, what kind of marketing did you do behind it?
Yeah. Nobody knew your shit was good. Dude, I had more people. Listen, I did a watch party like they do, like Joe Rogan does, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You can't see the fight on my YouTube channel. It's just me. It was me, Ben, and I think Paul talking about the live stream that we were watching.
Yeah.
And our live stream had like 1,500 people live watching, and their live stream had 200 people watching. And I'm like, they can't even see anything. But
yeah,
they were more interested in hearing like us just talk about it because we were in like Paul's a judge and me and Ben and
you marketed it to your people.
Yeah. Nobody told them. Like I get so many DMs from people who are like, where can I watch it? Where's the live stream? Where's the, and I'm like, this is no good.
How powerful is your email list, Fouad?
Yeah, exactly. No, I know what you're going. I know where you're going with it. And that's what promoters should do if they would think a little further would be like, why don't we, I don't want to say give a percentage or anything. Why don't they just call for a favor? Why don't they take all the pros and say, look, you guys all have huge fan bases. Can you please post this graphic? Like let's say I'm Tim Gardner. Tim Gardner does an amazing job at the shows.
Some of the best shows.
Yeah. If Tim messaged me and said, look, I'm having a live stream. I want all the pros to put this graphic up that says the live stream is at this link, at this time, blah, blah, blah. Can you please do it for me? I would do it like that. And then every single pro would have that graphic out. That's all the marketing you got to do. That's it. Yeah. Those are the fans. It's that simple. It's like, yeah.
Fouad, if he said, hey, Fouad, I'm going to give you X amount of dollars. Can you put this in a blast? Put this in an email blast to all your people in your emails, and we're going to put hostile supplements on front and center on a couple of things that we're doing here. We'll use that as publicity, this and that. Like, yeah, dude, you know what? Down the road, we're going to do some other stuff together. If I ever need a favor, give me a call.
Yeah. I wouldn't take any money. I'd be like, can you just put the hostile logo somewhere on the backdrop? Done. I'll fire it off to everybody. And I'll commentate the show.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because at this point in your life, and this is what you and I discussed privately, was like, yes, I believe that the sport needs to do a better job. I think that the sport can do a better job. I think that right now there is a lack of, I don't know, maybe just a lack of passion. If you and I are sitting here, and James, we're sitting here talking about this and saying we can do better. And it's like, all right, put your money where your mouth is. Well, I'm like, okay, well, I can tell you how to grow this. I know how to grow this.
If somebody said, put your money where your mouth is, or put yourself into action and say, give me the opportunity. Give me the opportunity. Let me and Seth commentate the Olympia and see what happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, anyway, James, you had a story about the live feed that you were.
No, do you know what I was going to say? Like, my thing was certain individuals who do commentary on live streams when they're watching a live stream that's like really bad quality and they're judging physiques.
Yeah.
You know, I had some people ripping my physique last week, and it's like, I know these people personally, and they said some things that were quite, you know, not needed to be said. And I took it quite personally, because I was like, if you were actually at the fucking show, you would have seen the dominance.
Yeah.
Like, so, you know, when you're watching something that's coming out like megapixel, like fucking 5 megapixels and looks awful, just maybe zip it and don't give such a fucking critique, because you're watching something that's really bad quality. I just wanted to say that, because a certain individual I've known for years who works for a certain magazine pissed me off. Yeah. And I just thought to myself, how about you get a ticket to the show and then come and see why the results are the way they are? Because I just get, that pisses me off, because we can all do that, and we can all do that wrong. So I just wanted to.
I'll just say too, the people doing it should always emphasize, because I did that, like, what show were we doing the breakdown for? I think it was the Chicago show that just passed, or maybe it was Spain. No, I think it was Spain. We were doing a breakdown or a wrap up for it. And I kept reiterating, I'm like, look, guys, this is a live stream. We can't, you know, you can't judge. You can't really tell what's going on. And it's true, because James, when you put out some photos like 2 or 3 days later, it was dramatically different. I was like, what?
That's why I was like, look, that's why I took my own video guy with me to film everybody, so you can see this. Yeah. Like, he filmed us all, and you can see us all on the stage at the same time. But if you want to watch it, that's why I put it all out on YouTube. That's why I do this content, because I was like, I'll be damned if, like, I let people judge me off something that isn't fucking of the standard.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, you know.
Do you think that the negative commentary like that breeds more negativity through the fans and through the sport?
Oh my God, dude, 100%. Listen,
it does, because you're gonna get certain people come out of the woodwork that are like, who seem to agree because they're looking for any excuse to.
No, man, it's no. Listen, when you take an icon, people learn from the top down. When you take Sean Ray, who's a fucking Hall of Fame, this is why it's even worse. If let's say Nick Strength and Power was doing the commentary, and he was talking about oily shoulders and talking about hair and talking about whatever, I'd be like, okay, you know what, whatever. It sucks, but that guy's he's not a bodybuilder, so maybe he doesn't understand. When you take Sean Ray, who's a fucking Hall of Famer, who's an icon, and he's the one talking shit, that starts to trickle down to everybody else watching. They feel like they have permission. Well, Sean Ray said it. I guess I have the permission as well to go on Justin's page and say he's got oily shoulders because Sean Ray said it. There's like no decorum, right? There's no respect. There's no class. It's like you're the top of the fucking game, dude. You're not equal to the guys at the bottom of the game. You're not equal to just some fucking analyst. You are Sean Ray. You are fucking the cream of the crop. You need to act as such. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share with your friends, and like the video. And if you get a chance, check out the description for all the different links to all the different places you can find Hostile and myself. And lastly, check out hostile.com for our new line of supplements and all of our apparel and gear. Thanks again for watching.